All right, we're just getting the numbers in, early tentative ratings numbers in on CNN and how many watched that Democratic debate. A lot less than watched their coverage of the Republican or handling of the Republican debate at the Reagan Library last month, but still a pretty good number. 15.3 million viewers tuning in for that Democratic debate. The same night, by the way, that $1.3 million came in to Bernie Sanders after that debate. That is 4 hours following the debate. Bernie Sanders got $1.3 million in campaign donations. And speaking of that debate, Joe Biden says that he watched and was very impressed with all the candidates, that they did a great job. He was not a participant last night. They even had a podium ready in case he did announce. We do know that he is meeting right now with the President of the United States. They have these regular lunches, but this one's getting a little bit more scrutiny because we're told that he is very close to making a decision as to whether he will run. The Reverend Jesse Jackson on that joins us on the phone. Reverend, good to have you back. Do you think Joe Biden should run?
I think it's not likely now. I think that it was predicated upon Trump's collapse in light of the Benghazi attacks and the email attacks. In some sense, Republicans discredited the investigation of Benghazi this week when it seemed to be so political. She may very well use the platform of the congressional hearing to ascend higher. On the other hand, President Obama said in his 60-minute conversation last week, there was nothing found that was negatively affecting our national security. These have been two hurdles thrown at her, but she seems to be overcoming them. And last night, with the help of Bernie Sanders.
It's odd that you would conflate the emails with Benghazi. They're two different issues, right? I mean, that's what she did last night. I mean, you might make the Benghazi comment, but come on, the email thing, that's a big deal.
Well, it is a big deal, but President Obama said that there was nothing in them that reflected any national security threat.
Well, but by the same token, Reverend, President Obama also said there was nothing to this IRS would appear to be a targeting of conservative individuals, and he promised an investigation would reveal that. No investigation. So I don't know if I take the president's word here, is what I'm saying. What I'm asking you, though, is all these developments.
What was riveted to me about the debate last night was they resisted the temptation of making each other the headline by attack.
Fair enough. That's what I wanted to point out. So Joe Biden would regret not coming in because she did well enough to say, well, maybe you don't need to come in.
Correct. It seemed that she will survive these attacks. And the idea of his coming in, it seems that the prevailing narrative was that if she were going to fall over and you'd only have Bernie Sanders left and Webb and Chafee and Bernie Sanders, he would step in to kind of handle the Democratic Party infrastructure. But that's not as likely today as it was yesterday. No,
a lot of smart people agree with you on that, Reverend. But still, prior to the debate, as you know, there have been these polls that show Joe Biden does far better against all the top Republicans than does Hillary Clinton. In fact, he beats them all. That has got to be that's got to be tempting, right?
Well, that's because he's on the sideline at this point without any grass stains.
True enough.
When he leaves the sideline and hits the field of play, then they will pull out the negatives on him as well. The negatives have an impact. The question is, are you resilient enough to take them? You know, Dr. King, in his last poll done on him, he was like 52% negative among blacks and about 7% negative among whites, in part because of his Vietnam War position, in part because of civil rights work. He was on the attack one day as a living martyr, next as a martyr. He was heralded as a global hero. So these polls kind of go up and down. No, they do, and they change a lot. But I was struck, if I'm the Joe Biden, Reverend, I'm looking at the quality of our opposition. I'm sure they're all great guys, but boy, are they lousy. And I'm just thinking, wouldn't that be tempting? Well, look at the Republicans.
I'm not in a name game here. All I'm just saying is, wouldn't that be tempting for Joe Biden to say, look, they're horrible. I could at least elevate the debate. I should be in this race.
His coming into the debate this late would be a handicap for him.
Not enough time to get money? Not enough time?
Well, time for money, and she has a substantial infrastructure and fundraising lead on him. Unless it was determined to be an emergency situation, it's just not likely, it seems to me. And I would hope that he'll weigh his options very carefully. Joe is very credible and very sharp, very strong. But Hillary is very strong. Last night, she, with great precision and poise and preparation, handled herself quite well last night. And that, too, is a factor. And I think her resilience in the face of the attacks has been a factor as well.
Well, you're right about this much, Reverend. She did a far better job than those other guys up on the stage.
I think that Bernie emerged as being mature and being a healer. He refused to accept the temptation to go away from the agenda. I think he emerged also as a conscience of the party. The thing about the banks, they subprime and predatory lending schemes took America down. We bail out the banks, but not bail out the homeowners, linked to lending and to reinvestment. And so he's right about that we focus a lot on police behavior, but not banker behavior.
All right. And, well, there obviously could be political disagreements over that by bailing out the banks. I, too, was against those bailouts, Reverend, but you effectively did.
Glass-Steagall versus voluntary.
All right. I beg you not to get into Glass-Steagall. I beg you. But I hear what you're saying, Reverend. It's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very, very much.